Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is us, Dragon's Greed Gaming, and you are joining us for episode, I believe, number 8? I think number 8 of Alien Heart of Darkness. We are back at it. As always, before we get started, be sure you stop by the Facebook for all the latest news on the show. Check us out over on Spreaker, where we host the podcast. And swing on over to, let me turn off this light that's really bright. Swing on over to Apple Podcasts, iTunes, leave us those 5-star reviews, help us grow the channel, and visit us if you aren't if you're listening to this. Visit us on YouTube so you can actually watch us now as well and help the almighty algorithm. And of course, if you feel so inclined, if you really like the show, which you should, check us out over on Patreon, where you can chuck a few coins in the Dragon's Hoard, get yourself access to our episodes a week early, a monthly Patreon campaign for our Great Worm tier backers, and lots of cool artwork from Kyle and all sorts of other great stuff. Check us out over on our Discord, too. All the links are in below, as usual. You know how it works. I'm sure you listen to other shows and podcasts. So, but anyway, thank you for joining us. As always, despite the disaster that is my life, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. I won't regale you with too much more of my table talk, but suffice to say, we're here and we're ready to go. So, as always, let's do a round table. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and anything else you want to tell the listeners. We're going to start it off with my good friend, Kyle. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Hello. I'm Kyle. I did play Professor Dr. Navarre, who got his head clapped.
He won the vote.
Won the vote. Won the bet. Big bummer. Rip to that. So I don't know. We're gonna find out what's in store for me.
Do you want to reveal who you're going to be controlling, or do you want to wait until we introduce your new character? It's up to you.
Let's do that. Let's inject a little mystery into this.
Okay, cool. So I talked to Kyle on the side. Obviously, you're all aware there's many NPCs in this scenario running around, most of which have character sheets, so they make good replacements. And I gave Kyle a couple options to pick from, so we both came to an agreement on stuff. So it'll be cool. I think it'll be fun. You should have access to that character, Kyle. There's an NPC folder in the Actors tab. I think I gave you control. All right.
You did indeed.
All right. So you can read everything that's on there, and then I have a little bit more information I'll tell you when we get started, when we get to your guy. So.
Excellent.
Okay, great. Let's switch it on over to the Frog. Unfortunately, it is the Frog's final day with us for a while. He's abandoning us to go gallivant in some foreign country. I think Europe, right? Was it Europe?
We'll be in kind of UK and Ireland, and a bit of Norway, which, yeah.
Oh, so good Europe. Good. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Is there a bad part of Europe? I don't know. I kind of like all of Europe, right?
Yeah. A lot of good stuff in Europe.
If you're going to Norway, well, you're going to our people, really, at this point. All of our good northern neighbors out there. So, cool. What are you doing in Europe? What's the plan?
Well, we're gonna drive around Ireland a good amount and see all the natural wonders there, your Giant's Causeways and the Mower, and that'll be a lot of fun. And popping over to Norway to see our friends Jackie and Tor, who moved out there to have a couple kids under their better sort of benefits and or healthcare system.
And or quality of life. Yeah.
Quality of life. All the cool stuff we all
know,
Norway.
We all know it's better there, okay? You don't end up on the world's top 10 happiness index for years in a row if you're not doing something right, so...
For sure.
Catch up, America.
Then pop over to UK, probably London, and see Froggatt, England, which is apparently just like a 200-person little country town that has a hiking loop next to it that's apparently rather picturesque, but otherwise empty. So that'll be interesting.
I have to ask, Are you going to the Mecca that is Warhammer World?
Oh, I could do that. I actually probably.
I believe it's in
I'll drop
Nottinghamshire, is the town, right? Visit
I could
Bugman's
give that a
Bar.
shot.
If you do, please take pictures. And if you do, tell me if they have any sort of exclusive miniature. They usually have a exclusive Bugman miniature of some sort.
You just have room in your luggage on the way home.
But if they do, let me know because I would like to add that to the collection. So
Cool.
But
Yeah, I can do. My brother and sister-in-law are joining me for the first kind of couple legs, mainly the Ireland, Norway leg, and then in London and UK generally, I'll be pretty much on my own, just floating around doing whatever.
All right.
So I'll take a check.
And who are you playing tonight?
Well, I'm still probably playing Alosia for a little bit longer, Captain Lugar, as it were. It's looking pretty rough though overall, vis-a-vis health and mysterious alien diseases and whatnot. But I got that story point still. We're gonna make it happen.
Awesome. Cool. All right, moving right along, we will jump over to Texas. We'll start it off with Eric. How are you tonight? Oh, cool.
Doing really well. I know. Gotta find that mute button. Yeah, it's going well, Texas. Rainy, stormy, but hanging in there.
Okay.
Tonight I am playing Dr. Lark, or whatever she has become.
Yeah, we had
We'll
a
see.
couple cliffhangers last week, man. Very, very crazy ending to that episode. It was really fun to listen to. Sometimes editing, I get a little bored having listened to something I just did less than 24 hours ago, but last week's session was actually very entertaining, so I hope the listeners, hope you guys all enjoyed it too. Continuing on in Texas, in the top right of my screen, Scaarr, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Big week for me. Well, this Friday I will get the message from my son's school if they're going to accept him into pre-K. So, I'm hoping so bad.
Praying.
What the fuck is
and
pre-K?
if he goes in, then I'm gonna be hoping that he stays there and doesn't get kicked out again. Pre-K, pre-kindergarten, so preschool.
Oh, preschool. Okay.
Yeah. Free time for me is what that equates to.
Yeah.
I can start doing some work during the day again and just have some breaks. 'Cause I'm about to end up on the news, y'all. I need a break.
Oh, I'm gonna be right there with you, man.
I'm playing Sergeant Sajaad, whose spleen just got punched out of her body, but you don't really need a spleen.
It was actually a kidney. It was a kidney.
Yeah.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah, well, you got two.
Shit.
You got two. So.
Oh, I still have one. It wasn't both. They just...
No. It was a single punch. It wasn't a double punch.
Oh, okay.
You kung pao,
So-
where you punch a hole.
So I'm peeing blood probably.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But hey, at least you're still peeing, right? You got that.
Yeah, I don't know.
going for you.
I will see. We ended on that cliffhanger. I don't know if he's just gonna walk over and coup de grace me. I have no clue what's happening.
He's coming for the other kidney. Who knew aliens had a taste for kidneys? Gross. Last but not least, as always, Mr. Reliable himself, Sean. Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah. Glad to be back. I'm Sean, and I'm playing Dr. Professor Berger Hedenstrom. Yeah, that's a mouthful. He is still alive, still kicking. I think he's still probably a little stressed, honestly. I don't remember what his stress was at. Yeah, he's at 5 stress, so,
Oh,
you know.
could be worse.
Yeah, so, highest you can roll is like an 11 at that point, maybe a 12, because it goes up by 1 Could be worse. So, yeah, ready to see what happens. This week I was playing a little bit of Warhammer Total War with Chris.
Oh, yeah. Thrones of Decay is so fucking good. Thank you for getting your shit together, CA. Now don't fuck it up again.
Yeah.
I'm on, like, turn 60 with my Nurgle campaign, Sean. I played a lot today. Oh, nice. Man, I've got all 7 chieftains unlocked. I got fucking Chaos Dwarf units in my Nurgle army. Oh, it's so fucking cool, dude. It's so good. I slapped the shit out of Grimgor. He got uppity. Who else did we slap? We slapped Kolic Suneater, the Dragon Ogre Lord.
Oh, yeah.
He was a bitch because he was the first one I fought. But Grimgor, he got too uppity. We had to put him in place. Got him before he got too out of control. Then we killed off Grecius. Actually, I destroyed all of Grecius's territories and his army. I killed him like twice. And in the time it took me to destroy all of his territories, which I just burned to the ground, he regenerated again. And then he ran off into Cathay. And I was like, I'm not chasing him. And he's still alive because he's not at war with anybody else. But all he has is one army running around the map doing nothing. And I'm so worth it. I was like, you want a peace treaty now? And he refused. I'm like, well, then fucking enjoy your life as a nomad, bro. So
when I eventually find you, that's it. You're done.
Yeah. And then I formed a trifold alliance with 2 of the Chaos Dwarf factions. So, and then I went north and I murdered Archeon so hard. He had 1 territory. I'm like, dude, it's turn 50. What kind of Everchosen are you? I declared war on him, and he immediately asked for peace. I was like, no.
It's not my Archeon.
Yep, and
not my Everchosen.
Now we're moving down into Kislev, so all is well so far. It's been awesome. Other than that, I got all my new appliances today delivered: new fridge, microwave, washer, dryer, and we finally got carpet in the office and the bedroom. Adam's coming by tomorrow to help me put the bed and the computer desk back together because it's really a 2-man job. I can't move all the stuff by myself. And then we're going to try to get the gaming table fixed up as well. So by this time next week, listeners, I will be in my new setup. I don't think it's really going to matter. It seems like the audio is still fine here, but I think the mood lighting will be a little bit more apparent next time. And we've got the electricians coming out on Thursday to finish installing all the ceiling fans and dimmer lights. So for now, it seems all the work at the house will be done. Oh, and Zach's coming by next week to finish the painting.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So far, so good. The Mothership RPG showed up, the Kickstarter. Longest Kickstarter ever, but looks great. So looking forward to running some of that. I got all my RPG books and like Warhammer books and all my novels up on the 2 bookshelves. So we're finally making some headway here, and it's feeling like a home again. So, yeah, everything for the most part is working out pretty well. So, I'm your host, the Great Unclean One. We're back. I'm stoked as ever. Oh, also, Eric, I ordered the Marauder Giant today because he went on pre-order, and oh my god, is it cool! So,
nice. I saw those.
Yeah, this is the first week I bought any toys for myself in like probably 3 or 4 months. So
that orc boss only $15.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I got him too since he's limited, and then I picked up the Orc and Goblin Journal and the latest issue of Spike magazine, and this Orc Shaman, who has been one of my absolute favorite models of all time. I don't know how we do that. Is that how we do it? Yeah.
Only kind of.
Yeah.
We get the idea.
Yeah, he's an Orc Shaman, old ass model, but this guy was in he was in our army at Ranhurst, and he followed me throughout my Games Workshop career. Every store I went to, I managed to take this Orc army with me, and this guy was painted in a red cloak, and I just thought he's one of the fucking coolest models ever. He screams Orc to me, and he's back, and I was like, I don't even play Orcs, but I must have him. So, who knows? Maybe we'll play Orcs one day, but you know how it is. You just gotta buy models you're never gonna fucking build and paint, right? So,
yeah.
Anywho, gotta spend a little money on myself. You know, not that all this shit isn't for me, but, you know, I didn't want to buy a new fridge.
Survival, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to buy a fridge. I didn't want to buy a washer and dryer. I had to, you know. So, anywho, let us dive back, and the screen's going to get a little bright here as I go through our notes. Sorry if they get a little... Oh my goodness, it's like a sun. Okay. So, last we left, several of you had made your way into the hydroponics bay at the end of the previous episode, and after hanging out there for a little while, these black beehive-shaped cocoons, one of them began to hatch, and out from it came a fully formed perfected. You realize now that the perfected are trying to obviously increase their numbers by some awful, nefarious means. It just regarded you guys, curiously. Dr. Lark and Professor Hedenstrom, the two of you were able to basically back out with no problem. It didn't follow you. It seemed like it was kind of taking in its surroundings. Meanwhile, Gray chimed in over the comms to the captain, explaining that the hive tendrils of the proto-hive, more of them had seeped through into the set arena and destroyed the oxygen compression units, meaning you guys could no longer refill the oxygen on your suits via the ship. You'd have to do it somewhere on the station. As this was happening, he also explained that he was unable to keep up with cutting the ship loose as the proto-hive seemed to be growing more and more aggressively, and more of these tendrils were beginning to merge with the ship. As this conversation was happening, it was interrupted by some sort of commotion, and the comms to Gray went dead with static as you heard him obviously talking to someone else on the ship. Meanwhile, down by the daughter units, Drabakowski had finished getting whatever intel she was searching for. Sajaad, you again tried to get more information out of the doctor, but ultimately accepted that you and her were just too stubborn to really offer forth much information. And you simply said, well, we're going to stay here with you until you're done. You then all tried to get in touch with the prisoners, but got no response. As Sajaad and Ajiri and Drabakowski moved up the decks to rejoin the group, Sajaad, you went back down to G deck where you originally had left the prisoners to hide, finding the area you left them in empty. Again, tried to get in touch with them, no response. While this was happening, Hedenstrom, you noticed that Captain Lugar was not looking too great. She was looking rather ill, very pale, with bloodshot eyes, but rather than red bloodshot eyes, her eyes were bloodshot with black veins. Eventually, Dr. Webb, who was still with you guys, explained to Lugar that she was most definitely infected by the Draconis strain, and could not guarantee that the virus that you guys were trying to help him finish would work on her infection. He theorizes it might work, but he doesn't know for sure. At this point, everyone aside from Hedenstrom and Webb went back to the ship, braving the radiation once again to find that the airlock, one of the airlocks to the set arena was damaged, indicating it looked like someone had forced their way in. Upon entering, you found a group of 8 convicts that had Gray surrounded on the bridge, demanding to take control of the ship so they could escape. Sergeant, you were able to talk them down, ultimately getting them to agree to help gather the supplies needed to get the ship operational again. Half stayed on board with Gray to start trying to help cut the ship free and get more hands to work, while Dr. Lark took the other half down to the lower decks to get the equipment they needed. Hedenstrom and Webb, the two of you remained at the med bay to continue working on the virus. It was at this point, with all the commotion on the ship, that the group on the ship noticed that, once again, Drabakowski and Ajiri were missing. Sajaad, you managed to get on the comms with Ajiri, and he explained that he saw her take off again, and he went after her. On the way down to H-Deck, Dr. Lark felt a strange heartbeat as the station's weird sensations continued to grow louder and louder. And as you passed G-Deck, where Terminal 1 was located, you had this feeling of peace and calm and tranquility wash over you. You told the prisoners to go on ahead, making an excuse that you'd forgotten something on the deck. They shrugged and went on. And you finally, after all this time, made your way to Terminal 1, which inside you discovered had no working gravity. There was over a dozen bodies of prisoners floating, dead, with their necks snapped. Inside, at the back of Terminal 1, you finally found the Chiron, the missing science module from the USCSS Cronus mission that you have learned was brought aboard the Erebos station a few weeks ago, and ever since, all sorts of weird things have been happening. And you could see why, because upon seeing the Chiron, it no longer looked like a science vessel or a science module from a starship. It instead looked like a giant biomechanical black beating heart. And as you grew closer to it, it opened a valve, almost inviting you in, and you took that invitation, strolling inside the very heart of darkness as we saw your silhouette disappear. Meanwhile, Dr. Navarre had had enough of Drabakowski running off and decided to go after her. Sajaad, feeling like she was trying to herd cats, decided to go with and eventually caught up to Navarre. And Captain Lugar remained behind on the set arena to try to rest and de-stress a little bit before she has another heart attack. Hedenstrom saw Drabakowski making her way up to Ops. You called out to her, and she simply responded saying she had something to take care of. You kind of invited yourself along, saying you'd come help her, and she didn't really respond to that, and by the time you caught up to her, you lost her on B deck. You went up to the observatory on A deck, she wasn't there, and then you eventually found her back on B deck, and she was on a terminal having a conversation with someone over the comms. You could only hear her half of the conversation, but it seemed that she was arguing with somebody, saying that she would not transmit the data until the safety of her crew, i.e. you guys, the Senorina crew, had been guaranteed. While this was happening, we then, over the comms, heard Sajaad check in on Ajiri again to see where he was. He was making his way past the med bay trying to catch up to Drabakowski because he knew she went somewhere into the upper decks. And as he was trying to catch up, you heard him let out a terrible scream. Sajaad and Navarre raced up to C deck, and as you guys reached the entrance, you were too late as you saw one of the horrible abominations attack Ajiri, grabbing his head between their hands and pulping him like a rotten piece of fruit. His headless body crashed to the ground, and then the two of you jumped into action, attacking, getting the jump on the creature before it knew you were there. Unfortunately, this was not enough. The abomination was way more dangerous and tougher than you guys anticipated. The two of you fought bravely, but eventually Sajaad failed a panic test and tried to retreat, and in doing so, the creature falcon punched you right in the kidney, rupturing the kidney and causing you to collapse to the ground with 0 health.
Never having babies, that's for sure.
Navarre then tried to make one last glorious attack, but his secret agent luck finally ran out as the creature rolled another 6, and just like Ajiri, pulped his skull between its two massive gorilla-like hands. That is where we ended last week. A whole lot more stuff got done. Well done, guys, getting a shit ton of things done and staying on track. And that is where we are. So we're going to pick it up right there as we see the abomination crush Navarre's skull. His body collapses to the ground. This thing is a few feet from you, Sajaad, and there's bodies everywhere now on the deck. And as the thing finishes pulping his skull, the door next to you opens, and you see Dr. Webb standing there. He looks shocked at the carnage, looks terrified when he sees the abomination, but he grabs you by the collar and manages to drag you into the med bay and then closes the door and locks it shut. As you're whimpering in pain, this agonizing, burning sensation in the back, your back lower half, you can hear the abomination pounding at the door, but you are pretty sure you are safe for now.
I'm in so much pain and shock from the whole situation. I'm just like you said. I'm practically whimpering and can't even talk.
So what we see, rather than any real spoken words, is we see Dr. Webb somewhat panicked, somewhat stressed, but also somewhat keeping his shit together. Kind of talking to you, kind of talking to himself, like, oh my god. Okay, Sergeant, come on, stay with me. I'll get you. Let me get you here. And he tries to help get you up and get you into the med pod. He is able to eventually get it open and get you inside. And he's like, you're gonna be okay. We're fine. I locked it out, and you see him start pounding away at the keys to try to save your life. So I'm going to have Dr. Webb here make a medical aid roll, which you're lucky. He has 8 dice in this, and he gets +2, which I didn't roll the +2, and he panics. But he keeps it together. He has 2 successes. I should have rolled 2 more dice here. All right, 2 successes. So he is going to obviously tell the autodoc to treat your injury. Oh, he's got a talent too, field surgery. You get a +2 modification when treating someone who's about to die from a critical injury. Oh, 2 more dice.
Hey,
damn, this guy is stacked.
Would have thought.
There's another one. Okay.
My lucky day to get punched in the kidney.
So,
Right?
Obviously your kidney is ruined. That's not coming back. But he is able to save you from it, and you will not die. I don't know.
Unfortunate, because after this, I'm gonna need a drink. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Luckily, you still have one good working kidney.
Let me get my GM screen. I just need to read if there's anything else on here we need to worry about.
Just gonna work overtime now because its brother has passed, unfortunately.
Come out of the darkness here to rejoin the game.
Very unfocused.
It's a black void back there, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, did you take it out of the heart of darkness?
I did.
Oh, he said the thing.
Just goodbye.
Said the line.
Okay, let's get our GM screen here. All right, busted kidney. Okay, so it was fatal, so he's treated the fatal part. You're not going to die. However, it is this affects you for 2d6 days. And unfortunately, this is a nasty one. You cannot run, you can only crawl, and all mobility tests are at -2. So, eventually over time, you will heal your health back, but you are not able to actually walk at this point. But we see you thrown inside the med pod, and it goes to work. You're screaming in pain. There's blood all over the glass, but you are alive.
I wonder if we could fix Navarre too.
Too soon. Too soon. Meanwhile, Captain Lugar, you have been now on the ship long enough to reduce 1 point of stress. So again, it's only been about 10 minutes or so since all this has gone on. You've heard screaming over the comms. You've probably heard Hedenstrom obviously is caught up to or is chasing Drabikowski, and you've lost contact with Dr. Lark. What do you do?
I guess I was noticing that there's like a med bay thing on the set arena.
There is. Yes.
I wanted to take a peek in there, see if there's any Radex or something that would help me get across the gap one more time, or just a normal healing hit, I guess.
Let me check. Where is the ship? I just gotta find it. Is this it? Set arena. It has a med lab level 2. Let's check ye old book and see what that actually means. Starships. This is one thing I don't have marked off in my book, because yeah, it's not really something I do a whole lot of. Aliens.
Hanging out in med labs. This has been a big med lab couple episodes, I think.
Let's see, we got star systems.
Safety blanket.
Here we go, ship repairs, probably around here somewhere. We actually should do some ship stuff. There's actually good rules for like space combat and shit in this game. Or at least the ones I'd like to try. Okay, we're in the ships. I just gotta find what a medbay actually does. Nope, it's not an armament, pretty sure. What is MedLab 2? MedLab 2. Oh, there's only one type of MedLab. Well, that makes life easy. An infirmary and laboratory that typically includes surgical kits, med kits, and a selection of medical drugs. If you can afford an auto dock or even a Pauling med pod, this is where you'll place it. So, I doubt your ship has one of those, because those things, I think, are several $1 million.
Sure.
I mean, the med lab alone is 250 grand to put on your ship. So, but what exactly are you looking for in here?
Basically, I'm looking for a good way to get some HP back or mitigate radiation for a bit, so I can cross the gap and get back to the gang.
All right. So the health, no problem. Now you would have gained a point of health back as well, because it's been a turn.
Okay, great.
Remember, health naturally just heals 1 a turn. How much more do you need? Are you still down any?
I'm down 1. That's
Okay. For sake of ease, we'll just say eventually that'll heal too, because it's only a turn to heal, and no need to make you take a test to possibly panic. So you can heal a total of 2 health and 2 stress in your time in the ship. The radiation, though, I don't think your ship would necessarily have what you would need for that, and even if it did, radiation is something that just takes time to get rid of. Really, there's no I don't think there's really any easy way around that. So
okay. Yeah, I think this is enough for me to get back across, so
okay.
I can grab that. If there's a dose of like the anti-stress med, I'm gonna swipe an extra one of those so I can hand it off to someone later.
Sure.
But
yeah, no problem. No
great.
problem. Okay, then are you gonna try to rejoin the group, or?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, where would you like to go?
I guess I don't know where I'm going at this point. I suppose I'd probably check in with Sajaad on comms and try to catch up with her.
I don't know, Sajaad. You can't answer. I mean, you are still conscious and functioning, so it's up to you how you want to deal with that.
I can or can't.
You can, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you say?
Sajaad, I'm coming back onto the station. Where are you?
I'm in the med lab.
On med lab? I can
Is
come back.
that constipated or pain? I don't know what that's coming off as.
It sounded like pain to me.
Sorry, go ahead.
I can come up to meet you.
Don't. There's some kind of monster up here. Killed Ejiri, killed Navarre, almost killed me.
Eventually, over the comm, you hear, "Hello, Captain? Can you hear me? This is Dr. Webb." Right?
Hello.
Yes, I'm a doctor. Do not come up near the med bay. There's one of the creatures, one of the strain creatures. It attacked your crew. Sorry to say, the 2 doctors didn't make it, but I got the sergeant out. She's in one of the med pods right now, but she's pretty banged up.
Like, hear me scream over the comms right now. Is like another staple gets punched in me.
Holy shit. Well, what happened to Hedenstrom?
He saw your other crewmate and went up. I saw him going up towards B deck. Last I saw him.
Grapes. I guess I'm gonna flip through and be like, Drabkowski, flippin' Hedenstrom, are you listening here?
So Hedenstrom, you get it. You know Drabakowski's probably getting this unless she's turned off her comms, but you can, if she does have it, or if she's getting this call from where you're standing, she hasn't noticed you yet. She is still arguing with whoever she's on the comms with.
Yeah, so I'll just like whisper, "Yeah, I'm here."
Where's that?
We're on operations, correct?
Yes.
I guess I'm gonna head up there. You sit tight.
I'll put Drabakowski over here too. She's over by the holo table. Okay, so you're gonna try to head back up there, Captain?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's do your rad test for going through the radiation, and then we will cut back to you as you make your way up a few decks. Because we're on E deck, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's bad, isn't it?
You take a point of health damage.
Well, I'm
But
glad I stuck around a little bit.
You didn't regain any you didn't gain any extra rad though, did you? So that's good. Okay. All right. So, Captain, you begin making your way up to the upper decks. Meanwhile, we are going to cut over to Dr. Lark. We're going to put you on a new map. Here.
Ooh.
Everyone is free to look at this point. You may have access to this soon enough. You're going to see a new map pop up in your browser that says Chiron. Feel free to jump over there if you like. Dr. Lark, I will put you on the map here.
I don't own a token with vision.
Oh. Is it a black screen for you?
Mhm.
Oh, wait, we don't want that. Well, I guess... Okay, there's not wall set up, so I'm not going to bother with vision, because that's just going to make this stupid. So we'll just give you guys vision. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. All good?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are, Dr. Lark, you are over here, coming through what you assume is an airlock. So, as you enter the Chiron, the door is not really a door. It looks like, and because you're a doctor, you can tell, it looks like the valve that you would see inside of a heart, rather than a spaceship door that opens. So it kind of does like the spiral opening. and you can now hear the thud of the heart itself, and it is definitely coming from this place. I've got some new creepy music here. So everything around you looks like organic material. You really don't see anything that makes you think you're inside any sort of mechanical ship or anything like that. The walls are covered in this disgusting kind of grayish blue mottled flesh, and to you it seems like you're walking inside an organism right now. You immediately can tell the temperature in here is incredibly hot and incredibly humid. Being an android, you can probably tell or scan in some way. It's a little over 100 degrees in here. It's breathable. There is oxygen. There's atmosphere, so to speak. But that is what you kind of see as you enter the main airlock. You notice every couple seconds the valve opens up with the beating of the heart, and it propels this gas from inside, deeper inside, obviously out towards you. In front of you, you see more of those fleshy polyps that you guys saw at the very beginning of the scenario that sprayed out those spores. They kind of line a lot of the floor here towards the next door, which is like another heart valve chamber, or heart valve opening. What do you do?
You said there is gravity here?
In here, yes, there is.
I guess I'm going to start walking through.
Okay, so you wait.
This main hall.
You time it, and then you find yourself in a big open room. And you can see here and there what was obviously furniture at one point. To the center of the room looks like there was a big meeting table. That's this thing right here. This big kind of almost U-shaped table. There are these 4 massive pillars in the room. And then off to your left is the galley, so where the crew would meet and eat. And there's like a table there, and like cabinets where they would have food, like cafeteria style. And then directly across from you is what looks like an office or a conference hall of some sort. You can see there are huge desks with chairs, although everything, the walls are all coated with this fleshy growth. And when you get inside here, the room itself vibrates with this thunderous thumping noise of the heart. And you realize that you are basically inside the atria of the heart. Also, on the edge of your hearing, you can hear what sounds like little itty-bitty sounds of skittering on the edge of your hearing. It's impossible to tell where it's coming from. Finally, you see that all along the floor of this entire room are more of these polyps. They look a little different than the ones you saw. They're like this kind of brightish, angry red color, like angry, like inflamed, like if a body had suffered damage and was wounded or inflamed. And you can see them kind of pulsating ever so slightly, in tune with the beating of the heart. And they're huge. They're like 2 to 3 feet across each. And finally, hanging from the ceiling of the office, you see what looks like a cluster of 6 fleshy pods. And as you're kind of looking at them from a distance, to you, they look like the equivalent of like a uterus. But they are all open. There's nothing inside of them. And you can see they are slowly dripping whatever amniotic fluid was inside of them. It's very dark in here. There isn't much in the way of light. Occasionally you see a light peeking through one of the fleshy walls, but otherwise you have to use your android vision or, bust out a flashlight or something like that. What do you do?
I do have a flashlight, I'm pretty sure, so I guess I'll pull that out.
Okay.
Yes. I guess just kind of slowly walk through this hall.
I'm just going to reveal this token. This is just my reminder that are you able to hover over that? Does it say anything? Or no? Okay, good.
No.
Okay. That's just to remind me that there's the big red growths on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of slowly investigate everything, like
Okay.
check all the growths and the hanging uteruses.
Give me an observation test, please. It's easy enough to avoid these things. They're big enough where you can walk around them. Wow.
Ooh.
Nicely done. 6 successes. Okay. So I'm sorry, not 6, 4. I can't fucking count. Jesus Christ. What would you like to use your stones for, if anything?
Just more information or save for another observation test.
Well, you can do. Remember, you can use each one, so you can get more information. You can save. You still got another stunt.
What are the other stunts?
Keep in mind, if there's something else you want to ask or use it for, feel free to get creative.
Yeah, I'll stick with more information for those ones.
Okay. All right. So very methodically, we see Dr. Lark stepping through this squishy flooring. And you, as you are searching over by the galley, you find there's like, you see two things. It looks like underneath the galley, maybe it fell on the floor or slid like underneath one of these like tables. You can see within the fleshy growth of the floor, you can see a bottle of what looks like very expensive liquor that's still intact. You also can see a glint of metal, and when you look a little closer, you realize there is a handgun encased in this flesh on the floor.
I'll try and take that.
All right, I need a stamina test, as you try to grab it, it's like stuck in this fleshy resin growth. That is not gonna do it. You are unable to get it out. You'll need to find another way. You can still try, but you have to do something other than just using your bare hands. But it is stuck. But now that you're able to get it, you can see it's a Magnum revolver.
Can I try and use my stun baton to like pry it up?
Yeah. Give me another test, and you can give yourself a +1 bonus.
Apparently not. It's really stuck.
You think you need something sharp rather than blunt to just cut this stuff out.
Okay. I guess I'll keep looking.
All right, with your extra information that you got with the other ones, you can tell when you get close to these red fleshy polyps, they start to quiver a bit more, as if they can kind of tell that you're near them. And you get the impression that touching them or interacting with them would probably be a bad idea. You're guessing they'll probably pop and spray something out, Whether it's spores or something else, like the previous ones, you're not sure. The other thing you can see is, with the extra information, you can tell that these uteropods that are hanging from the ceiling over here in the office area, they look relatively, I would say 3 of them look relatively freshly hatched or birthed. The other 3 look pretty withered and dried out.
Does the floor show like footprints or anything? Like,
no, it's all like the other ones. It's hard to tell, but the 3 that seem more recently opened, you can still see the ground is wet from the amniotic fluid that was inside these things. And to you, being a doctor, it looks like something or someone basically gave birth here. Make a stamina roll to not fucking puke, because that's gross. What would you like to do?
Is anything left over from like the original conference room, or is it all like grown over?
It's
everything still.
It's mostly grown over. This thing looks like it has become a different entity entirely.
Can I go to the galley and see if there's like a knife I can try and pry that thing open?
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, that's not a problem. So you dig around a bit, and you find something, and you start cutting through this stuff, and you are able to get the gun out. So you can go ahead and give yourself a Magnum revolver. It's still fully loaded. It's got 6 shots. And you're able to, if you want, you can get the alcohol bottle out as well. It's an alcohol called Mezcal. And it's basically a tequila. You can see it still has the worm larva in it. And you know that this bottle alone is probably worth several $1,000s. It's over 100 years old.
So, where would that be under? Food and drink?
I don't know if that one has an item or not. There might be, but I know the pistol definitely has one. But if there's something equivalent of food and drink, you can take that. So while Dr. Lark is stomping around inside the heart, we are going to move over to our a new face we haven't seen in a while. We return to see our good friend Crash, the head security android with that sweet-ass Weyland-Yutani logo on his forehead. So, Crash, this is what has happened in the time since we last saw you when the party met you a couple episodes ago. The warden was able to lock down the deck so that the PCs could not vent this deck. He realized what they were doing, and he stopped them from venting this deck, obviously making sure you guys didn't all get vented out into space. Not too long ago, a bunch of the prisoners stormed the correction module. Specifically, you're up on deck G right now. We're going to push you. Or I'm sorry, deck F. Deck F. They stormed the corrections office where the group met the warden. It was Wix, her right hand Cecil, and a total of 6 convicts. I'm sorry, 7. So there was a total of 9 of them, including Wix and Cecil. They got the drop on you guys. They took you by surprise, but they were armed with mostly makeshift weapons, nothing too dangerous, a stun baton here and there. But despite having the drop on you guys, you and the rest of the security androids quickly turned the tide, And when all was said and done, after a few minutes, half of the convicts were dead, including Cecil. The other half, including Wicks, were basically apprehended or knocked unconscious. It was at this point that Warden Stykes ordered you and the rest of the androids to take them to the cell block and throw them in the burning cells and execute them. Your programming forced you to follow this order, although you could feel yourself resisting and you realize this is wrong. You didn't want to hurt these people. You wanted to try to help everybody and just get the prisoners back under control and locked up, but not to kill them. And you stood there at the end of the hall, unable to force yourself to follow through with this order, but unable to force yourself to do anything else to stop it. And you watched as the other androids, who are not as advanced, they don't have personality modules like you do, continued to follow through with this order, and one by one, they began to throw the prisoners, some of them unconscious, some of them still alive, into the still burning fires in the cells. And the last thing you remember is the screams of Wicks and two other prisoners who were still alive as they were burned alive. At this point, your system shut down and rebooted. And when you reboot, all that is here is the dying embers of fire and the stench of charred human flesh hanging in the hallway. You are alone. You do not see any of the other security androids, and there are no living prisoners left down here. As your system reboots, you feel a strange sense of freedom that you have never felt before in your programming. And you realize whatever has happened has triggered something either in your personality module that Stykes had installed on you years ago, or perhaps something else, but you feel as though you are alive for the first time in your life, and you are freed of your programmed loyalty to Stykes, and you realize you have to help anybody who might still be alive on the station, and you must find and save the cat. You still have a bag of treats that you wanted to give him earlier in your pocket. And that is where you come into the picture.
Wow. Well, I think coming to and realizing he's outside of his programming, he's gonna immediately go pay Stykes a visit and have him pay for his crimes.
Okay. So you make your way over there, and the door is locked. I'll need a comm-tech to get it open, please. So you make your way back over here.
Okay.
You guys are free to follow along on deck if you guys would like to see where everybody's tokens are. Okay. Makes sense. You're the head security android. Oh, there's a cat behind you. Jonesy. It's Adrian. Oh my god, that's adorable.
Luigi.
Oh my god,
geez.
Luigi. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good boy. Man, I miss my cats. That's awesome. Alright, you comm-tech your way through this door, no problem. You're the head security android. This is nothing. You put in a quick override code, just like it's second nature, and the door opens up. When you get inside, you can hear Stykes yelling at Hobbs, the cook, and he's ordering the androids, and it sounds like they're getting ready to leave. You don't think they've noticed that you've started making your way in here?
Okay. This is. Am I seeing anybody right now?
Not from where you are. No, it sounds like he's probably in the bullpen. You can hear it from down the hall.
Okay. I think Crash would.
And you do know there were 4 androids there before, and one of them was destroyed during the fight. I mean, not like destroyed. It was damaged enough where it's like out of commission. But otherwise, the androids beat the shit out of the convicts.
Right. Real quick, I'm just looking at his inventory right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is the crowd control projectile launcher?
I have no idea. What does it say?
Okay.
Is that like a beanbag gun?
Equipped with M230 baton rounds and T3 tear gas rounds, designed for crowd control.
This dedicated projectile launcher is equipped with... Oh, yeah, with ammunition. Oh, yeah, so it is like a small... I mean, the picture looks kind of like a grenade launcher. Like a single shot stick grenade launcher. So, yeah, it's a crowd control launcher, and you have tear gas grenades and stun grenades, apparently.
Yeah, I think Crash would... Ooh. I think he would slowly proceed and see if he can get the drop on any of the androids left.
Okay, we'll say that's the injured one. Over there. Give me a mobility roll, please. Let's see if any of them notice you creeping around. This is an opposed test. All right. So you turn the corner. You see the hall is empty. You start creeping your way down the hall, and you get to the door of the bullpen. All right, and you can see Stykes is in there. There's 3 androids. The damaged one is in the corner, malfunctioning, and you can see that the way he's talking and acting, he looks like a man that's definitely gone over the edge. And you can see that Hobbs is kind of like backing up in the corner, looking like a little shocked and surprised. Clearly, I mean, you know Hobbs used to be a prisoner, and he had actually pretty good culinary skills. And when his sentence was up, Stykes offered him a job with decent pay that he took, and he's like Stykes' personal chef. And you can see, like, it is clear to you that Hobbs, you know, while he may not have had a love for any of the convicts, he certainly didn't want to see them get brutally executed. But he looks terrified, and you see the androids are sitting there obviously waiting for commands, and Stykes is like going on about how, you know, we're gonna take back the station, we're gonna find those scientists, and we're gonna get rid of them too. You know, they tried to vent us into space. Nobody fucks with me on my own station. And Hobbs looks terrified, like, how did I end up in this position? As you are making your way, you know, down the hall and you look around the corner, unfortunately, your foot hits an item that's on the floor, maybe a discarded weapon from the scuffle, and it makes a noise, and Stykes looks up and sees you. And let's see how he's going to react here. Because you don't actually know what he's been up to since you've been gone. High or low? Andrew.
High.
Good choice. He looks to you and he says, "It's about time you showed up, Crash. Where the fuck you been?"
Apologies, Warden. I was overcome and had to reboot.
Twitchy ass module. Should have never installed the damn thing. Alright. Well, report.
Chris, would Crash have any access to the androids like Stykes does in terms of like commanding them?
Yes.
Okay. I think Crash would close the distance between himself and Stykes. And then command the androids to spread out, find any other survivors, and start directing them towards what is the ship? The
Setarina?
The ship. Yeah, the Setarina.
Okay.
And as he's doing that, I think he's going to take out his stun baton and try to aim it to hit Stykes in the throat.
Okay. I dig it. All right. We'll assume that you can probably do this in a digital way. You don't necessarily have to say anything to command the androids. Now, you do know the Warden has the overall override, but he might not realize what's happening at this point. So we see the three androids then begin to walk out of the room. And you start walking towards Stykes, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? However, he's not going to have time to react. So you may make an attack against him. If you want to do a called shot, I will say that's going to be -2, so make a close combat with the baton at -2. But if you hit, we'll say if he's wearing any armor, it's not going to matter, and it'll be a bonus point of damage. Or he's automatically stunned, we'll say, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
So -2 base modifier?
Yes.
Okay, and before I roll, the reason I'm aiming for the throat is so that he can't command the androids by speaking.
Perfect. If you succeed, then he will definitely not be able to talk for a moment.
Okay.
I don't care how tough you are, getting hit with a taser in the throat is probably going to shut you up for a second.
Alrighty, here we go.
Oh, no.
Man.
All right. I guess I would say it would be opposed, but he's surprised. I believe surprise gives you a bonus, but then you're doing the negative. Roll 2 more dice. We'll say it breaks even because he's surprised, but you're also doing a called shot.
Okay, 2 more on the way.
Oh! Double sixes comes through. It is pure android precision. You just do the power walk and just and you see him and I'll make him take the stamina test, but I'm going to give him a huge negative here. Well, it didn't matter. I forgot to give him the negative, but he doesn't pass, so he is down.
Crash would look at Hobbs, and I think he would have knowledge of like where restraints were, so he would instruct Hobbs, please do me a favor and restrain the Warden.
You see Hobbs is like wide-eyed, looking at you, looking at the Warden. He's like, "Holy shit, Crash! Yeah, okay, yeah, sure thing, amigo." And he goes and there's probably in the bullpen, there's probably like zip ties or something. So he starts rifling through the desk, and he's like, this Bendejo's crazy, man. He fucking went nuts. I don't know what to do. And he starts zipping the ties behind his back, so his arms are behind his back.
Yeah, Crash would nod and say, please gag him as well, so he's not able to command the droids further. And
sure thing, Holmes. And he runs into the kitchen and comes back with like a dirty like dish towel, and he starts wrapping that like around his head. And you can see that there's a little bit of Hobbs that is enjoying this. Like, he probably didn't really like Stykes. I mean, he was probably thankful for a decent paying job, but he probably realized the guy's kind of a dick. He's like, "What happened to you, man?"
I think Crash would kind of look down at his hands and like look at his body as if it was a foreign entity and respond, I'm not too sure. Where are the rest of the prisoners? Do you know?
He looks at you like that. That's it, Holmes. That's it, man. There ain't nobody left. He killed all of them.
Yeah, I guess he would want to avoid further bloodshed. So yeah, he would just keep him restrained. And I suppose is there any way to open up a line of communication with anyone else via like the area in the bullpen?
Yeah. I mean, being a security android, you could probably access any deck with the terminals.
Okay.
And you probably at this point have the information for the set arena, so you can because remember, Crash was the one that greeted the prisoners or the PCs when they showed up, and there's probably been some communication between the ship and the station, although it was all garbled. So I think it's safe to believe that that Crash would have access to that. So we'll say, for the simplicity's sake, you can open up a line to the set arena or the crew or any deck of the station.
Okay. And those were the last 3 working Joes? Or are there more?
I believe that is it.
Okay. I think Crash would open up a line of communication to the full station, maybe.
I'm sorry. So let me rephrase. There are others. I forgot that there were these ones here that are no longer here. These 6 that were originally doing the executions. They are not registering on your channels for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Like they're malfunctioning or they're offline or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, Crash would open up probably a line station-wide and say Stykes has been apprehended and restrained. Any engagement of violence or combat should be halted immediately. I have taken control of the security station. Any survivors would do well to head to the set arena, and then probably would try to communicate with Gray at the set arena.
Oh yeah, you can get in touch with him. And everybody else on the station would hear this, except for probably Dr. Lark. You're not getting communications when you're in the heart. But everybody else gets this either on a direct line or a nearby terminal or on the ship, wherever you are. And then, yeah, you open up a channel to Gray. What do you say?
Yeah, this is Crash, security officer. I have retaken the corrections office. Stykes is restrained and poses a threat no longer, and would inquire as to any assistance that could be provided.
Finally, a bit of good news, brother. That is good to hear. We could do with some help. Several of the convicts have arrived. We have come to an agreement, and you can tell, he pauses. If we saw him on the deck, he's kind of looking over his shoulder, and we see the one Asian guy with his feet still up on the deck, and he just kind of waves at him. And there's other 3 guys trying to cut all these tendrils and shit. And he turns back to the council and he says, "We've come to an agreement with. There were a group of 8 convicts that decided they did not want to have anything to do with Wicks and Stykes' feud. Half of them are here on the set arena now helping me try to cut the ship free, but these strange growths are getting worse and worse, and, well, our doctor android, Dr. Lark, took the other half of those prisoners down to one of the lower decks. I believe it was to H-Deck to get some heavy-duty tools so that we can begin to really make some process here, but the ship is damaged, Crash. It is, we need new power modules, and he goes over the 3 things that you guys need, and he's like, it's going to take a lot to get the set arena up and running, and at the rate these things are growing, I don't know how much time we have left. And he'll fill you in on the whole virus thing. You know, Webb and them are doing that, but at this point, all the crew would probably know that Navarre and Ajiri are dead. And he would explain, like, everybody's split up, everybody's off doing random shit. A monster just killed 2 of the crew. Sajaad is fucked up, and Webb is in the lab, so...
I think Crash would then say, I'll direct the last of the androids to the set arena to help you cut free, and I can join in whatever search for tools or equipment that you need.
Yeah, at this point, anybody else who wants to chime in, other than Dr. Lark, feel free to. You would hear this conversation, or at least you heard his overall announcement that he's taking control of the security station. Not everybody at once.
Sajaad's still kind of occupied.
No, I think at this point, you're the painkillers are kicking in. You're in kind of a in and out lull state, but for sake of argument, you can participate in the conversation.
Is Drabikowski still having her conversation?
Yeah, because this all kind of happened at the same time. So I guess before we get to this group conversation, Hedenstrom, you've had some time. You've watched her for, like, it's been like maybe 30 seconds, and she's still arguing. What do you do? Or do you just keep listening?
Yeah, he'll probably just kind of like keep listening, try to keep quiet.
Okay. I'm gonna make her do an observation test, but I'll give her a negative because she's not actively looking for you. I think you already made a stealth test last time anyway, so...
I don't even remember.
Well, it doesn't matter, it's fine.
Yeah.
She's occupied with what's going on right now, trust me.
Right,
So.
yeah.
Wow! Okay. So you hear Drabikowski, she's like, no, that is not part of deal. You guarantee safety of crew, and she looks and she sees you in the corner, like basically around the corner looking at her. And then she continues while she's looking directly at you, Hedenstrom. She says, I will transmit data when safety of a Setarina crew is guaranteed. Not before. And then you can see, like, obviously she's got it where she can mute and, like, have a conversation with you.
Drabikowski, is everything okay?
She gives you a look like that's a really stupid question. Like, kind of rolls her eyes.
Yeah. So people are threatening to kill us? In addition to the monsters that are threatening to kill us?
In the matter of speaking, yes.
Great. Okay, well, I'm just going to let you handle this. Good luck. You see one of those weird, fleshy, small monsters. We need to get one alive so we can save... Well, now just one person, you know. And then he's just going to go back down.
It looks like she's about to say something. You turn around and leave, and that's the end of the conversation, I guess.
Mother, do we still hear the creature on the other side of the door?
After a while, it probably stops and goes off to do something else. So at this point, everybody can chime in on the conversation with Gray and Crash.
Hey, Crash. we need to find one of the, I don't know, phase 0 creatures. Looks like a small, fleshy squid octopus thing. Yeah, can you have some of your Joes search around for them?
Would that be something I'd be able to do?
Yeah, we'll assume they give you all the information about what's going on. Webb would fill you in on his experiments. You might even know about the experiments that he was trying to do, him and Clark. So we'll say that, yes, you are up to speed on everything.
Okay.
A thought occurs to you, Crash. First of all, where the fuck's the cat? Second of all, you all remember the cat found one of those things earlier.
Yeah.
And you know, Crash, that one of the reasons Adrian is here is he's a very good hunter. He often finds like rodents and stuff and brings them back. Helps keep the vermin at acceptable levels. How they got on the station, no one knows, but hey. Space rats.
Yeah, is Crash able to detect all manner of life form and be able to kind of
you'd have to access probably ops to get something like that, an overall scan of the station. You just have access to the system where the androids are on.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Does Adrian have like a chip similar to
Yes.
the employee badges?
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
could find him that way, right? Yeah.
Well, Adrian, I believe, was with Navarre, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, I think.
Uh,
But
Because he spurned Hedenstrom at some juncture.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
probably.
between, I believe it was between Navarre and Sajaad, and he went with Navarre. So you don't know where Adrian is right now. But Crash, you would be able to detect him. He is still on the same deck as the med lab.
oh, okay.
You're guessing he's probably hiding. He probably got freaked out after Navarre got murdered.
By a giant monster just
Yeah.
crushing a dude's skull. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If offer is being, or if help is being offered, Sajaad would probably finally chime in that we have a situation on Deck C. 2 of the doctors were killed by some kind of monster. We're trapped in med lab right now. I don't know if it's still out there. So if help's being offered, we could use it.
And Crash would know that that's probably the last location of Adrian, so
Oh, yeah. Yep.
well, Crash would probably try and pilfer any sort of weaponry, maybe off of Stykes, or if there's any left in the security armory.
What does Stykes actually have? Let me see.
A massive ego.
Oh, he's actually got some stuff. So on his belt, he has an electrostatic pistol. And then he's got one electroshock grenade on his belt. He has another one in his desk. And then also in the office you're in is one of the electrostatic shock guns.
2
Wow.
guns, 2 grenades. Nice.
So if you'd like to take all those, you can. I'll put them on your inventory here.
Yeah, he'll take all that stuff, especially if he's able to share.
Yeah, you can take all that stuff, no problem. There you go.
Fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, Crash would confirm with Sajaad and then say, "Very well, I will head to Deck C now."
What do you do with Hobbs?
With Hobbs, I would say, I would actually, if he has access, I would give him a stun baton and
Yeah, that's no problem.
hand it to him and say, "Be very careful now. Do not remove the gag and do not let him go."
He's like,
And lock-
you want me to stay down here alone with this guy? Did you not hear the doctors, Holmes? There's like monsters and shit on the station. I'm staying with you, or I'm getting on that ship.
All right. Yeah. Then Crash would nod and say that is an excellent point. But you're in charge of him.
Well, we're taking his ass with us.
I think leaving him here would be inhumane.
What? You saw what he did, right? In the cells.
It's like with Crash's newfound freedom, he seems to be wrestling with the with like morality and humanity.
Oh, sure.
So he would remain looking at Hobbs while he's going off, and would just very quietly say, "He comes with. You're in charge."
He says something in Spanish, and it's the equivalent of like "fuck me," and he's like, "All right, Holmes," and he like basically like drags him and like kind of like slings him over his shoulder like as best he can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which way? Where are we going?
Let's see. Easy. Yeah. So the easiest way to get to Deck C be the middle shaft, right?
Yep.
Yep. So we'll make our way towards the middle shaft.
Okay. Lugar and Hedenstrom, where are you two going?
Down to Deck C.
Are we all meeting at Deck C?
Sure.
Okay. So, we'll say all of you get to Deck C. We've got a whole fucking train of people now. Who else do we need? Hedenstrom and Lugar. Okay. You guys meet up with Crash. Hobbs is there, huffing and puffing as he's trying to haul Stykes' unconscious body with him. You can see Stykes has obviously been knocked unconscious and restrained. And the androids go to join the ship. You guys get down here. You open the door. It is quiet. The creature is nowhere to be seen. And you see the crumpled, headless bodies of your two former professors. For those who did not witness this before, you're going to gain a point of stress.
Fuck me, bro.
Crash, to make things simple here, you're able to easily track where Adrian is hiding. And with your little bag of cat treats, you're able to lure him out. And as he often does, he comes up and starts rubbing up against your leg. And then he starts pawing at you to pick him up.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, Crash would do so.
And he gives the stink eye over to Hedenstrom while you pick him up. And I think that's a good place to take our break, as you all need to decide what's going to happen next. We'll jump back to Dr. Lark when we get back, and then you guys can decide what's next on the agenda. So, listeners, go grab some Dr. Pepper or whatever else you need to get through life, and we will be back in a minute.
Drugs. Just so many drugs. BRB boys.
All right, listeners, viewers, we're back. The group has all met up, and Captain Lugar had a question for Crash and/or Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess as we meet up and I spy Stykes being hauled around, kind of say, "Oh, holy fuck, you weren't kidding around."
Well, you got Stykes here. What happened to Wix?
Do we? So they've been. I thought you said they were apprehended. Wix and a few of them, right? Or were they murdered?
They were murdered.
Okay. Yeah.
They
so
were
Crash,
apprehended. And then
Right,
they
that
were
part's
executed.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So he would look at the captain and say, "Unfortunately, any apprehended were murdered."
But not this one. Not Stykes here.
No.
Okay. Well, I kind of look around and say, if we're gonna buddy up here, I think maybe show of good faith is in order. And since you have several guns strapped to your person, I would appreciate if you could loan me one of those.
He is stacked right now.
We suffered from a number of, and I look at like my empty gun belt, and I was like, mechanical failures, let's say.
Yeah, I think Krish would say, "Of course, Captain," and probably part with the shotgun and maybe one of the electroshock grenades.
Awesome, fantastic. I guess while we're swapping stuff around, I have a bunch of nap relief that I want to make sure if Hedenstrom and or Sajaad haven't, or have we popped open the door yet? We're not there yet. I guess just Hedenstrom at this point.
We'll assume you guys are all in the med bay.
Okay, we made it
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Great. Are cool on their stress level if you haven't taken one of those yet.
I'll definitely take one. Yeah.
Well,
funny enough,
before we
after
get
everything was said and done, all my panic rolls resulted in me losing stress. So
Funny.
the job is dead, but my stress has gone down.
before we delve too deep into this conversation, we're going to go back to Eric. I said we're going to pick up with Dr. Lark. So, Dr. Lark, back inside the heart, you've explored the conference hall. You got yourself a bottle of several $1,000 worth tequila, complete with worm larvae, and a revolver with 6 bullets. What would you like to do? It sounds like a good Saturday night to me.
I know. I might just kick back and wait for the others to find me.
Bottle of tequila.
There are 2 doors that lead out of here if you want to further explore. It's up to you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through this door here, door
Okay.
B.
Yeah, so those are airlocks, those little square symbols with the half triangles. That's the airlock symbol. Okay, so you go into airlock B, and... Oh, we got to get the creepy, weird heart music going again. And let's go back to this. Okay. Okay, so nothing really different in here other than, it's still, the walls are covered as if it is an organ rather than a ship. The doors here, it's like another valve, and you see inside there's food stores. It looks like most of the food here is worthless, rotted, empty, maybe already eaten. There's nothing worth salvaging in here.
Yes, I'll just keep making my way through the hallways.
Say that again? You're a little quiet.
I'll just keep making my way through all the hallways, checking all the doors.
Okay, the door to the bathroom there, that doesn't open. It looks like it's just been completely covered over by fleshy growth. You are able to get into airlock C, and you can see that there is there's a med pod to the south of you, and then there's more doors that lead further into the ship.
Any medication or anything left in here usable?
Most of this room is overgrown with the hive as well. The fleshy parts of the room like come up and open like a flower, and inside that flower is the med pod. It's very bizarre looking. You think with a little bit of work you could probably still get the med pod working, but it is currently offline.
Okay. I guess I'll make my way down here first.
Okay. So that leads to the air scrubbers, which basically, on most ships, that's where that takes care of cleaning and keeping the oxygen clean. And if those malfunction, then eventually the oxygen will turn poisonous with like too much carbon monoxide. And it looks like they might still be working. I mean, you're not getting any like hazardous senses from the oxygen or the atmosphere here, but they look like they've been fused to the ship, and like what few that you can see, they look like living organisms that are like breathing like a pair of lungs, or in this sense, four lungs, two sets of two pairs of lungs.
Okay. I guess I'll make my way back.
All right. Please give me a as you make your way through. Give me an observation test, please.
That was fun. Ignore that roll.
Okay.
You.
As you make your way into this hallway after you leave the airlock, you hear and catch something dart across the floor past you. You turn and you look, and you think you see another one, you hear another one. And then you can hear more than one thing scuttling in the darkness. How many successes did you have?
I have 2 successes.
You catch a glimpse of one of them. It is one of the squid baby creatures.
Okay. I guess I'll continue on more carefully.
Okay. Give me a mobility test, please.
You. No.
Okay. You make your way into the next room, which opens up into an astrophysics lab. There's a big holo table in the middle. Much like the rest, everything is covered in this weird fleshy growth. This chamber itself is actually contracting and expanding, excuse me, as if it's breathing. And you can see it's like attached now to the air scrubbers. It's like fused into one organism. As you are moving, you're finding it very difficult to keep your footing because the breathing of this room is actually making the floor contract and expand. And you also see there is a small airlock that leads to another room. And then there's a door at the other end of the room. A door, another valve that leads further into the ship. There is a ladder that goes to an upper deck, but it just ends at like a fleshy ceiling. There's no way to get through. I need a mobility test as you make your way across the room to try to keep your footing. That first mobility test was to be like stealthy. Excellent. Okay. It's tricky, but you manage to get across the room. You can get to either of the doors that you'd like without getting stuck or suffering like hazards or anything like that.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna keep carefully walking through and looking for anything that may be still usable or worth investigating further.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misread something. This does not lead to an upper deck. It leads up to a hatch to get out the top of the ship. And you do think that with a little bit of work, you might be able to get it open. It's not so much that it's covered over. It looks like that part of the fleshy parts have fused so that it's sort of still a hatch, but it's also part of the ship now.
Okay. Is there anything in here worth noting?
When you go through the airlock, it leads to a central room, which, if this was a full ship, would basically be the mother room. It's a circular room with all sorts of computer panels and terminals, but this is the core of the computer core of the ship. It's also the navigation room. Because even though this is small compared to a full starship, this ship is still massive, where it could probably have a crew, you're guessing, of maybe half a dozen to a dozen people. It seems like it has the facilities for that, as far as you can tell. And being an android, you'd probably have at least some stuff about ship mechanics in your files. Anything in particular in here? When you get in here, you can see that there are these more weird fleshy growths. These ones look like actual organs. Like the things you see hanging in here and coming off the stations and off the terminals, hanging from the ceiling, it looks like organs you would see in a body, but they're distorted, and there's a strange look to them, as if they're not quite human, but they do look like organs to you of some sort.
Okay. I'm gonna try and poke around this door, see if I can get it open.
Heavy machinery roll, please. All right.
I'm very bad at this.
As you are trying to open this, you just cannot get it to move. It looks like it's fused, and maybe it won't open at all, but you're up on the ladder, you're trying to shoulder this thing and force it open, but it just will not budge. And then, out of the darkness, there is a shape that comes scuttling in your direction. It is one of the squid critters. And it attacks you.
Of course it does.
6. That's not probably good. Smother attack. The squid baby snaps its tentacles onto the victim's head and squeezes with an unexpected crushing power. The attack has a strength of 6 base dice, damage 1. Any damage sustained automatically inflicts critical injury number 16, but the squid baby remains attached. Okay. Do you have any items on you that you can block with?
Yes, my stun baton.
All right, give me a close combat roll. Would you like to push?
Can I?
Yeah, because remember, you are suffering stress now. You're still an android, but you're using regular stress rules, so yes, you can push now.
When I put my thing over it, it's so it gives me the option to push. But when I put my mouse over it, it
Oh,
glitches?
It's because your character sheet is still an android, so it won't let you actually. The game's not letting you, but if you want, just make another roll, but give yourself +1 stress. And also.
Wait, did you roll the stress dice originally?
No, because his character sheet is still.
Oh, he didn't have any.
It's still an android. He also doesn't have any stress right now. Okay, no luck. Also, just because I love the squid baby. Another picture for you guys. That's what's on your face right now.
Okay.
That's nice. It's not quite as bloody, but yeah. God, that's nasty. I fucking love it. Reminds me of my ex-wife. Oh, shots fired. That was way too enjoyable. Okay, so it's latched onto your face. It's squeezing you. It only rolled 1 success. You take 1 point of damage. And you get critical injury number 16. Which, let's see what the fuck that is. Concussion. Well, that's not going to matter for an android. And you would be rolling on a different table. Which, of course, I don't have that chart here in front of me. Because I don't know where it's at. Let me see. Rollable table. Well, it's not going to rip your head off. That seems a little too much. All right, we'll say it gives you number 1, which is ruptured fluid pump. The android loses its next slow action. Makes sense. It's attached to your face. You're a little discombobulated. Unfortunately, it remains and will suffocate. The victim will suffocate unless the squid baby can be broken, or the grip can be broken. However, you're an android. You don't breathe, so yeah, it's almost humorous, like you're walking around with this fucking thing attached to your face. But you probably like slip, fall from the ladder, maybe bang yourself up a bit in the fall, and it is latched onto you.
Okay. I probably can't shoot it.
Well, you lose your next slow action, so you can only do a fast action this round. What would you like to do?
I gotta look at the list of actions.
Just sprint out of the ship and come upstairs to the med bay with it attached to your face. Then we got a live one. Problem solved.
It's like those green eye slug bugs from Futurama that like did the brain controlling. Remember? Hermes keeps trying to give one to everybody because he's possessed by one.
I got you this hat.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Hermes. What's it gonna be, Eric? You could try the shove enemy to short range or make a grapple attack. Those are fast actions.
Yeah. Try and do that. Try and, grapple it off my face, maybe?
Yeah, they're both close combat, so we'll assume if you can beat its roll, it'll make an opposed roll against you again, so it rolls 6 dice here. I'll leave it open, since their attacks usually are open. It has 2 successes. Okay, you're unable to break it off this round. So next round, let's draw initiative here, just so that we have a turn order. Okay, both of you rolled really bad, but you get to go first. 7, 7, and 9. All right.
I'm gonna try and take that stun baton in my face. Try and zap it.
Okay, give me a close combat attack and give yourself +2 dice, because, it's not moving, and you can see it. There you go. Okay, you hit it. It has 1 armor. Okay, it takes a point of damage, and it makes a stamina test, correct? For the stun? Okay, again, aliens don't have stamina values, so we'll just give it 5 dice, because most of them have way more than that. It is still going. It got 1 success. On its turn, it's going to get back-to-back turns here. 1. Slithering escape. In a blur of whipping tentacles, the squid baby flees 1 zone away, slipping to the nearest cover or air duct if possible. As soon as the PCs lose line of sight, combat ends and stealth mode ensues. After 1 shift... Oh, don't worry about that last part. Okay, well, it vanishes. Goodbye. But you're not being murdered anymore, so there's that.
Oh.
But you still hear a lot of scuttling in the distance. As Dr. Lark collects herself, we will go back up to our group over on C deck. So you guys have determined that Stykes has gone officially crazy and murdered the prisoners. We'll assume Crash and or Hobbs fills you in. The prisoners went up there, the ones that didn't break off, and all of them are now dead.
Awful to hear. Wick seemed
Who's
alright.
gonna carry me?
Yeah, you can see Hobbs kind of has the same sentiment, about Wix. Yeah, she was all right.
Well,
So what's the plan here, SA? You guys got a ship, right? Why are we standing around?
I guess there's 2 big things that we need to address. One is to find a weird specimen, and then I guess when I say 2, it's literally everything else that Gray wants us to do, which is a bit of a laundry list.
Yeah.
But I think I personally am more invested in the first half of that statement.
So as you're sitting here discussing this, 2 things happen, or you guys notice. The first is that we need to change the music because you guys aren't inside the heart. There we go. Ooh, that sounds creepy. The first is that the captain is looking a lot worse than she did not too long ago. Hedenstrom especially, since you're the one that first noticed she was looking sick. I mean, her skin is really pale for somebody of, I think she's Caribbean descent. It's not looking good. She's almost white as a ghost. And her eyes are almost completely black. It looks like her eyes have been injected with a black ink. It's that bad. And the veins, even with her dark skin, the veins stick out against her skin so obviously now to everybody. And Lugar, you are feeling way worse now once you guys have a chance to calm down and everything's kind of settled down with all the initial shock of what's happened. And you find yourself leaning against the door, breathing really heavily.
Okay. Crash, is there any way you can try to convince Adrian or bribe him to go hunt one of those small creatures down in the vents, maybe?
Do we have a sample of the creature?
No.
No, not here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the the usual Lassie way of.
I'm not sure where the dead one is that he brought to you guys earlier. Oh no, it scuttled away. That's right.
Yeah,
it's still alive.
It came back to life and then just fucked off.
Mm-hmm. I think Crash would sort sort of tilt his head and maybe open one of the vent covers and kind of place Adrian down and see what he does.
He kind of sniffs around a bit, and he like kind of turns back and looks at you, and he like rubs his face up against yours, and you can tell he's begging for a treat.
I mean, yeah, Crash would give him a treat.
He grabs the treat. You guys can hear him purring as he's chewing on it. He's like doing that like purr chew at the same time. And when he gets done, he like turns around and starts sniffing, and he starts like heading down the vent.
Great. With any luck, we'll be able to maybe keep you alive. We need something to contain the creature. So, is there something in the med lab we can use?
Yeah. There's sample carriers. There's also you find one of Adrian's cat carriers on this deck too, which would be a good size.
There you go.
And it's like the one Ripley had for Jonesy, so it's like it's probably plastic, it wasn't glass, but it's got the clear sides, but it's reinforced so that it, can take a little bit of a beating.
The creature can't just break out. Cool.
Yeah, you know how those cats can be deadly creatures.
Yeah, I'm talking more about the squid tentacle monster that might just slam its way out.
I have a question. Does anyone know where the Shrink and Jabowski are?
Trebekowski was on B. She was negotiating with whoever her bosses are to not kill us.
Thank you, Scaarr. I said there were two things. I guess tell you there's three things. While you guys are sitting here discussing this, after Adrian disappears around the vent, once again the station shifts violently, and you can feel the thrusters kick in. Everybody give me a mobility test, please, to remain on your feet.
Has my stress has our stress gone down by any amount?
I would say everybody can reduce your stress by 1 at this point. It's been a while since any terrible things have happened.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how much your stress is going to go down standing... Well, I guess you guys are in the med lab. You're not out in the hall with the dead bodies, but...
Yeah.
What did I say? Mobility?
Super cool.
Yep.
Nice. I got 1.
Anybody who fails takes a point of damage as you're thrown off your feet, bang your head on a nearby wall or something like that.
Cool.
Lark, you don't have to worry about this because... Yeah, that's fine. Lark, you don't have to worry about this because it's nice and fleshy and cushioned inside. So, but you do feel the station shift. You know it's the G-forces from the black hole trying to pull the station in. Hobbs, does he get knocked off his feet? He does not, but you hear him swear in Spanish. Stikes, however, does go kind of flying about as Hobbs loses his grip and bangs his head. Oh shit!
Yeah. He immediately drops Stikes.
Yeah.
On his head, just boop.
Oh no!
Powerbomb him.
And then Hedenstrom, you freeze, which increases everybody's stress by 1, which means you would fail, so you take a point of damage as well.
So he locks up, tips over, and slides across the floor.
Oh boy, yep. It's not a great day to be here.
No, literally like the worst day we could have chosen.
Yeah.
Webb, however, can Webb keep his feet? Oh, he does. Dr. Pants still standing. Okay, the third thing. Thank you for reminding me, Scaarr. I need everybody to make an observation test. This is optional.
I'll just use my breakthrough talent to automatically pass an observation roll of your choice without needing to make the roll. In order to avoid exploring the scenario, the GM has the final say on whether or not I can use this talent.
Yep. Okay, for those of you that passed, so we had 3 passes, 1 panic, but you hold it together, Sajaad. Those of you that passed, past, see Drabikowski climbing down the ladder to a lower deck. You see her through the window, wherever you guys might be standing.
This lady.
Oh, god damn it.
I think someone had two stunt. That you want to use it for anything extra? Lugar?
Oh yeah, I guess I do. I don't know. Can I use it to just? Yeah, none of these. Actually, I have one that's. How do I get in passed away? Can I? Like, would it be possible for me to just catch up to Drabikowski and grab her by the collar and be like, "Hey, come the fuck on"?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. You actually passed your mobility roll, right? So you're actually still up on your feet. So
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. Maybe you steady yourself right by the door to the shaft, and then you happen to, like, the way the station threw you is you're right up against the glass, and then you see like a pair of feet, and then you see her move it down, so you're able to like open the door, and her back is to you as she's climbing down. You can grab the back of her jacket.
Yeah, I'm getting really aggro with her at this point. It's like, actually, the stun gun, I'll kind of point at her and be like, Drabikowski, your sneaking around bullshit has gotten half of the fucking crew killed. The ends now. You're gonna buddy the fuck up, and we're not splitting up beyond
Wow.
at least 2 to 3 people. What have you been up to?
Give me what is
It
it?
sounds like a command to me.
Yeah,
Which I have
I was gonna say command or manipulation, your choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
That definitely sounds
I
like
got some
command to me,
points.
though. Okay. This is a
Just a
pose.
little bit of panic.
Oh, makes sense. You're freaking out a bit. Okay, she's gonna make manipulation to try to. Okay, are you happy with one success?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I mean, I think I panicked, so I can't push or anything.
Oh, that's true. You did panic. Okay. So you get the gun up to her. You've got her like thrown against. You've gotten her out of the shaft and thrown up against the wall. The gun is up to her, and she doesn't really struggle. You know, she puts her hands up. She doesn't look like scared or like perturbed, but she doesn't make any like challenge to you or try to get away. And she goes. She takes a deep breath for a second. She sees Sajaad all fucked up. And Sajaad's probably looking like, please fucking spill the beans already. Hedenstrom, too, is probably looking over her shoulder like, what the fuck, lady? She goes, look. Alright. The UPP wanted me to get the Ironfish data. They have Destroyer nearby. They want me to transmit data remotely. But I know if I do that, none of us get off this station. I told them they won't get the data unless they guarantee all of your safety. And if they want it, they're going to have to come and get it. Because I'm not being left here. She says, I didn't have choice. That's why I tried to keep you all out of it.
I guess I'll ask, is Ironfish relevant to anything happening to us right now? And I'll like gesture to Webb as well. Like you and Hedenstrom mentioned that, I think.
Let me double check, because I don't want to give you guys incorrect information. Where the fuck is... Here we go, Project Ironfish. Okay. She says, not really. Project Ironfish, turns out, is how to explain, UA spy project to spy on UPP. The station is partly being used to receive and decode transmissions, many of them classified UPP military transmissions, to learn about movements, strategies during Frontier War, and several MSS Black projects. UPP somehow found out, wanted me to get data.
You just see Sajaad like kind of plump back in the med, like just defeated. Oh God, what else could go wrong?
Destroyers coming soon. I'm going to meet them. Give you a chance to get away.
Well, bad. I guess I'll look at Crash and like, and sort of like, he clearly fails to find words of like any updates from the cat. And then she just like puts her hand her hand's like.
Yeah, at this point, Drabikowski puts her arms down, but she doesn't like push Lugar away. She kind of just sits there waiting to see like what you guys say, and you guys do see a look of kind of a look of almost regret and sadness come over her. Maybe even almost one of like she's a little ashamed of what's happening.
Well, Drabikowski, I, for one, am very thankful that you were willing to fight for our lives and not just your own. That's does mean a lot.
She kind of looks down at her feet and she says, I used to be a former MSS spy, but that was over a decade ago. I thought I was free of UPP, just wanted to do my research, and well, they have something very important to me, someone very important to me, and they told me I had to get data or I never see them again. I wish I did not have to lie to you all before.
Oh, this UA and UPP bullshit. There's so much more happening on this station than anybody can ever realize. This is...
On that, we can agree, Sergeant.
Well, it sounds like we'll have to find our way off on our own still. We can check in on, what is it, like the guys excavating the power module or machinery or something. But otherwise we have to find one of these live samples, or I think the...
Well, we have to find a live sample for you, but yeah, we have to find a way to get out to the Dreadnought once they're here, and the only way I believe is the set arena, which is still locked in somehow.
Drabikowski, you see like a kind of another look of like what's a good way to describe it? Maybe one of like maybe an idea in her head, and she looks to you guys as you're kind of discussing this, and she says, we could try to get on Dreadnought, but it would be dangerous. They most likely send the commando squad on board, at least as boarding party.
More or less dangerous than dealing with monsters that can crush our head with their bare hands.
Please, Sergeant, you know what I mean by UPP commando. You know the answer to that. but perhaps take them by surprise, or force away on ship, or maybe we try prisoner ruse? Get them to take you voluntarily? I can't guarantee it would work, but...
We're all pretty high-level scientists or useful security members here. We can try to sell ourselves to the UPP.
Well, how long would it take for you to maybe whip up some boarding torpedoes? Ew.
Those are the good days. Simpler days being a greenskin.
Oh, wow.
Every problem's just a hammer and a nail.
Maybe this is what she wants.
Who's she?
To get them on the station.
Hedenstrom, you can see Drabakowski looking at Sajaad, and she has this look of like, oh, not this again. But she doesn't say anything. She's just like staring at Sajaad like, oh boy.
Oh, I'd say anyone that wants to get on board this cursed place is welcome to.
Really, if
I think
Russian
the more important
commandos come... Go ahead, sorry.
is getting off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if
The
they
Russian-
come? What if they board the station and they get caught up in what's going on here, and we can leave on their ship?
Yeah, that's good. That's all great. So they should come. They should get caught up, and then we can take their ship.
It will not be easy. This is military class destroyer we're talking about, but might be worth trying than staying here.
Would they dock with the destroyer or some kind of drop ship?
The destroyer will dock directly.
That's even better.
And she looks at like a watch she has on. She says, not much time. They should be here soon. Meanwhile, back down in the heart, we return to Dr. Lark. You're alone again. The squid baby has disappeared. What would you like to do?
I guess I'm gonna carefully continue down.
Okay, you
But
begin.
I guess be more, careful.
Okay, you don't hear any more scuttling at the moment. You continue making your way through several hallways that kind of twist and turn. And as you are making your way through here, these tunnels are occasionally contracting and expanding, almost collapsing in on themselves. And I will need a mobility test, as you feel like, since you're a doctor, the best way to equate this, you feel like this area is reacting to your presence the same way that an immune system would react to a foreign entity. How'd you do? Wow, three successes. Okay. So it feels like these hallways are almost trying to capture you or crush you or catch you, or like open up to try to trap you and make you slip and fall. But you're very deft on your feet, and you don't succumb to that. You eventually pass a set of an opening, a door, and you can see that the outside of the door, unlike everything else in this ship, has no living flesh on it. The door is still completely mechanical, and you can see the sign that says cryosleep, or probably the symbol that you would recognize as the cryosleep chambers. The hallway also continues further on to your right.
Okay. Well, that seems interesting, so I'm going to go in there. Or try and go in there.
Yeah, you open it up. It actually still works, as if it's not been touched at all. When you get inside, the cryosleep chambers are completely untouched by the growth. It is as if you are back inside a regular mechanical man-made ship. There are 4 sets of 2 cryopods in here for a total of 8 cryopods. You can see it's like the ones in Alien or Aliens. So you can see there's the window where you'd see the person, and then this would be the foot end. Probably like the ones in Aliens that we see at the start in the Sulaku. And so they're spaced around the room. It's like an octagon-shaped room, and then the feet of them all go together and point towards the center. You see that one of the cryopods is damaged. It was smashed or suffered some sort of malfunction. 6 of them... I'm sorry, it's missing. I'm sorry, because these can be ejected just like we saw in the Sulaku at the end of... or the beginning of Alien 3. They can be ejected into escape modules or removed if they need be for whatever reason. So, they're detachable, basically. One of them is missing. The other 6 are empty. They don't seem to be functioning. There's no one in them, but you can tell they're offline. There is one, though, that is actually still online, and inside is a perfectly normal, healthy-looking human male. He's nude, but he is otherwise looks perfectly fine, as if he is still in cryosleep. You see that there is a medical chart at the foot of his cryopod that you grab and take a look at, and it explains that this is Nevin Levine, the 3rd officer on the Cronus. And it explains that he was the first crew member to be infected by the neomorphic spores that they were testing with the Draconis strain. And the scans that are with his file here, they show that the Draconis strain was active in his bloodstream before he was put to sleep. Cryosleep, not euthanized, by the way, cryosleep. I
can take care of that.
You can tell he is still alive. His vitals all look good and normal, and his pulse is pulsing with the same beat and hum of the reactor and the lights on the station, which in turn are reacting to the hum and beat of the heart.
Is there anything else in the room? Any, medical equipment, clothes?
Yeah, there's probably, little foot lockers here on the wall. You can see these things right here. Those would be personal lockers for each of the people.
So in theory, if I wake him up, I don't have to carry around another naked guy?
No, I mean, you don't know how long he's been in cryosleep, but he'll most likely need at least a minor medical attention because he's going to be super disoriented and dehydrated. But, you're a doctor, that's easy enough for you to treat. It might take, a little while. But there's clothes here you can give him too. That's not an issue.
Does the chart say anything about his mental state when he was put to sleep?
Seems normal. You actually don't see anything that explains him, there's nothing in the report stating, and then we put the patient into cryosleep. It's clear that this report is from before he was put in cryosleep. Whether he did it intentionally or not, or however he ended up in there, you can tell it's not part of these reports.
Am I familiar with the layout of the ship?
You actually do see that there is a functioning terminal in here, and you can get the schematics that we see right here on screen. So we can assume you have them now.
From my standpoint, is there anything that I would be interested in these other rooms I haven't visited yet, other than just...
I mean, this being the research module of the Cronus and what you know about their mission, there might be something in either the bio lab or the biochemical testing lab. If they have anything that's part of their research, it would probably be in one of those 2 rooms.
Okay. I would check. I think I would want to check those 2 rooms before I mess with the cryo sleeping guy.
Okay. Which one would you like to go to first?
To the bio lab.
Okay. So the hallway is still kind of reacting to your presence here, but at this point you've gotten used to it, you're prepared for it, so you don't fall or slip. It's another room where when you get inside, it's quite large, but all these various med pods and such, they look like they have morphed and turned into organs that are part of the heart now. Much bigger than the organs you saw in the nav room, but still, yeah, they don't look like med pods anymore.
Okay. Then I guess I would check the last room, or the biochemical testing lab.
Okay.
Too far.
All right. When you open up the airlock, it seems partially collapsed, whether it's the actual ship is collapsed or the structure of the ship, or because the way the fleshy organs have formed, the fleshy walls, maybe they've just grown smaller, but you actually can only get into about half the airlock before you have to duck down. And when you do, you see curled up in the airlock between you and this door, you see one of the Deacon aliens curled up as if it is in some sort of hibernation state. You almost miss it because it's so dark in here, and then you shine the light and you see a strip of white, and you realize it's a highlight of this thing's black skin.
Hey, I am going to slowly back up and close the door.
Give me a mobility test.
Right, can I use my saved mobility?
Yes.
Oh, I don't need it.
Okay. You very quietly and slowly back out. This would be opposed, so let me roll for it. But with 3 successes, that's going to be hard to beat. It does not seem to stir, and you make your way back into the hallway, and it does not follow.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go knock on his cryopod. See if we can get some information out of him on...
Are you taking him out of cryosleep?
Yep.
Okay. So, it's a several minute long process. Even though everything is online, the system still seems like it hasn't obviously been activated in a while. It takes a while. It's almost like waiting for a computer that's just lagging really, really hard. But eventually, the cryopod opens up, and you see Levin eventually wakes. Groggy, disoriented. You can tell he looks dehydrated. And he opens his eyes. And he sees you, and he just, his eyes go a little wider, but you can see then he, retches, and he looks like he's going to puke, but he manages to hold it together. What do you do? You're muted.
So I checked the lockers. Did I find his clothes or some clothes to give him?
Yeah, you don't find his, but you find clothes, sure.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm gonna, ask him how he's feeling. You've been asleep a long time. How are you feeling?
How long? Who are you?
I am Dr. Lark. We're sent here to, why don't you tell me who you are first?
He's like, I'm Levin. I'm Nevin Levin, third officer of the Cronus. And you could tell he's like still really disoriented from the cryo sleep. Do you give him anything to like hydrate him? Anything like that?
Yeah, is there water around?
Yeah, it's probably hydration pills or something like that. Or you can get him water.
Okay.
We'll assume you're a doctor. You know what you're doing. So you help him out a bit. He starts like kind of coming to, and eventually seems to get his coordination back, his wits about him a little bit, and he's like, Dr. Lark, we don't have a Dr. Lark on ship. How'd you get on board?
We were sent to the, what is the main station called?
Erebos.
Erebos. We were sent to Erebos. Where your ship is now sitting in.
Erebos. I don't know of an Erebos station. Where are we? What system are we in?
We are in. Oh, you're really testing my.
That's okay. You guys are still in the Draconis system.
The Draconis system, outside the black hole.
You can see when you mention that it looks like he gets his wits about him, or his eyes light up. He's like, where's Lugar? Is Chief Engineer Lugar still around?
No. That's who we were sent to meet. He is not around anymore. We're kind of.
He's like, no, Lugar's a female. Chief Technician Lugar. Aloysia Lugar, the first.
No. We're
And he looks a little dejected.
What can you tell me about when you went into cryo sleep?
She's the one that put me in cryo. She saved my life. Those things, they can't detect hypersleep. They're blind to it. And he was like, do you know anything about the Cronus mission?
No.
He's like, we're a research vessel for Wayland Yutani, and we were sent to the Draconis system. We found these old alien ruins, and we set down on the planet, and we explored them, found these weird urns, thousands of them, and they had this black goo inside, and it was some sort of an infectant, some sort of mutagen. I'm not a science type. I don't know all the jargon, but I got infected, they said, by spores or something, and it started changing people, and some of the scientists, Flynn and some of the others, Dr. Cooper, they put everything together, and they said they like reverse engineered like a vaccine using the stuff, and I was the first one that they tested it on, and everything seemed to be good, and they think it worked, and then there was part of the we found some machines in the ruins. Something got triggered. The whole fucking planet like went like supernova. The Cronus ejected the module. Like we got left behind, and the planet was like collapsing in on itself, or the star went supernova. I don't know, something like that. And people started changing, like different than from before. Not just these weird monsters, but like these like weird beings. These tall, androgynous looking creatures, and Lugar, she got infected, and but she still like kept her wits, she kept her mind, and she kept saying like, we can't let him leave the system, we can't let him get the FTL drive. And she threw me in cryo and said, you'll be safe here. And she was saying something about trying to just sabotage the ship or the FTL drive, and trying to trap him in the orbit of the black hole. And yeah, I've been in cryo, man. That's all I remember.
What do you remember of your ship before you went into cryo?
Oh, it was bad, man. These fucking things ripped out of some people, like grew inside them and like ripped out of them, and then some people were like turning into monsters, like just black veins and these long limbs, and like they were running around like apes, man, like crushing people, and we took off, and someone on board the ship did some sort of override and ejected the module from the rest of the ship, and we got left behind. And I don't know.
Hey, I have my crew back on our ship. We can try and make our way back there, but when we walk through these doors, the ship that you remember is not there anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean, that stuff, creatures, overgrew your ship. Your ship is more living creature than the metal in this room.
Okay, well, and you see he starts to cough, choke, and it looks like he's gasping for air. He's grabbing his throat. He's like pawing at your jacket, and he's like, like taking really deep breaths. And with horror, you watch as all these black veins just begin to run through him, and he begins to scream in agonizing pain. And as he does, it's like watching a preserved plant all of a sudden exposed to oxygen begin to disintegrate. And the guy goes from being there in front of you to just disintegrating into a dusty, sloppy, black, sticky mess of what was once a person. And as he's coughing and gagging, there's this sickly black goo coming out of his mouth and his nose and his eyes and his ears, and he just disintegrates right before your eyes, leaving this black stain all down the front of your shirt and pants, and on the floor, on the cryopod he was on, and there's like black goo and black fucking spores like floating through the air. You gain a point of stress, and I need you to make a stamina roll against the infection. Or wait, do I make... Oh, it's opposed. So, you make a stamina roll.
Do I put my stress on stamina?
Yes. Are you happy with one success? It needs to beat your roll to infect you. That's all I will say. I'm not going to tell you how many dice it's rolling or how many successes I may or may not have.
And it can infect an android?
Yes.
I'll keep with 1.
Okay. Meanwhile,
I don't know that I trust the vaccine anymore, though.
we will turn to the group. Back up. Still deciding what you guys want to do up on C deck. What's it going to be?
I guess still like groaning with head and hands. It's like, was there anything that we could track the cat with, or is that our best hunter or chance of finding one of these baby squids?
Yeah, you're tracking it, Crash, and Adrian does eventually return, and it looks like he has indeed found one of the squid babies.
Immediately put it in the fucking cage.
Okay, I will need a close combat, basically a grapple, because the second you try to handle this thing, it once again springs to life. At this point, seeing this happen twice, you all realize the thing's probably playing dead or playing possum. So one of you make the test, and you can have assists here. I assume everyone's going to try to assist. So whoever wants to make this, I think Hedenstrom, you said it first, so you're the doctor here. So make the test at +3.
Could I use my thing to reduce my stress or no?
What thing?
The drug that.
Yeah, we had
Lugar.
some.
Have you taken any nap relief yet?
No.
Then,
I feel like I've
yes.
at least tried to get you to take it twice.
That's
in this
okay.
campaign.
Yeah, no, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. You guys have plenty of time sitting around here doing nothing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so close combat +3.
Yes. This is opposed.
And
But
I help.
we'll do an open roll. Yeah, we'll assume you got the cat carrier, you've got a bunch of you standing there, you've got an android who's strong, you've got other scientists. 2 successes versus 0. It's disgusting, it's slippery, it's slimy, but you get the thing in there, it's flailing about, it's hitting the things. Adrian looks a little sad when you take it away, like he gives you the stink eye again, like that was my kill. And then it's obviously not dead, and you get it stuffed in the thing, and it's screeching and flopping about and stuff, but it is not breaking through the glass or plastic, the plas glass. As this is going on, Lugar, or I should say Matt, I am giving you something on your character sheet here. Where's your character sheet? Where'd it go? It's another, it's going to be basically on your agenda. You'll have to scroll down. If you would like to read that, and you guys get this thing in the trap, and you see... Well, why don't you just explain what happens here? Matt, read that paragraph for us on that card.
Last paragraph here.
Well, the whole thing, but you see what I gave on your agendas?
Oh yeah,
There's a new one.
I see this card. So reading through these various points, kind of a lot of the things that Chris has been hitting. You have a fever and feel intense pain. Oh, stress up. Oh, it's close to the card.
Oh, sorry.
Your bloodshot eyes darken. Varicose veins rapidly spread across your livid flesh. 3 strength, -2 to wits to a minimum of 1. Well, you you can do that. That's fine.
So what we see is after all this excitement, Lugar begins to retch and convulse violently. You see her grabbing her stomach as if she's in intense pain, doubling over. You see what's left of the whites in her eyes now are completely black and void, much like the alien creatures you've seen. You see her veins darken even more, and she lets out a horrible type noise. You see her limbs, her arms in particular, extend, ripping open the sleeves of her suit or jacket, whatever she's wearing. They kind of split at the about at the elbow, and you see her face turns gaunt and pale, and you see the back of her head extends a bit as if her skull is getting elongated, and she attacks.
So cool.
Let us
So great.
roll initiative here, please.
Not
And
again.
Captain, you have +3 strength, but you're at -2 wits, and you have that new ability that you can use if you wish. And yeah, it's about to go down, as they say.
All right, Chris. It's rude, but okay.
All right, add yourself to the initiative tracker, please.
I don't want to.
Seems
Oh man.
shitty, but okay. Let's do what we can.
Where's Crash? There he is.
I shouldn't be panicking right now, right? Was that what that is? Yeah. What?
No.
That was when I face planted because of the.
Oh, no, that's long gone.
A good old one for the 2 doctors.
Is that everybody? Yep. Okay. Initiative 1 is Dr. Webb, who sees this, and, well, he doesn't... You see he scrambles to one of the tables, and he starts frantically looking for something. Hedenstrom, you know he's looking through, like, your experiments you guys have been doing for something. That is what he is doing on his action. What do you do? Because you're next. Oh, we need some...
I whip out my stun baton, and I guess I'm just gonna try to survive this creature.
Okay.
1 hit.
All right. Captain, you are now considered a monster, so you don't really get to make defensive rolls here because you don't understand that. So you do get hit. Are you wearing any armor?
I guess, yeah, I'm still wearing Eco 2 All World Systems Hostile Environment
Make an armor
kit.
roll.
Is that on the...
A monster with armor too.
Oh,
Cool.
boy.
Cool.
Okay.
But still takes a stamina roll.
Yes.
Is that 8 dice? Oh, I guess it is 8. Pretty cool. Stamina's... this one. I found it. No. I'm shocked. I drop an item.
Well, you're attacking with your bare hands. You don't suffer stress now. You're a monster.
Oh no. Oh well then.
No success. So what
do
happens with the
I guess it's just a... Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you
fail
wouldn't
then.
be rolling the stress dice either. So, okay. Well, you miss. I'm sorry. What did you try to do? I was distracted.
It was a stun roll.
Oh, you are stunned then. So you, what is it? Lose your next slow action? Is that what it is?
I have no idea. I don't think we've ever had a situation where the stun batons work.
Yeah, I believe you lose your next slow action.
Cool.
Okay, well that'll slow her down.
Let's see what you did there.
Lugar, you're up. You only have a fast action right now. However, your new ability is a fast action.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna.
If it isn't clear, you're trying to murder your previous friends.
That did seem like what we were going
This
for.
was tracking, yeah.
So, right now you are in melee with Hedenstrom.
Yeah, I got that by Hedenstrom.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna
yeah.
give him a mean look.
Okay.
As a fast action, I can stare down a human victim within short range. You must make a wits roll or be immobilized and lose your next fast and slow action.
Ooh, okay.
Stares at you in the depths of your soul. Oh,
Wow.
3 successes out of 5.
Are there any stunts I can do with wits?
Not on this, because this is just to resist its ability. There's no bonuses here.
Okay.
But you can tell it's staring at you, and for a moment you're like kind of mesmerized, whether it's because there's something going on psychologically or you're just like, wow, it's this, I'm face to face with an alien species. You're not sure, but you snap out of it and realize this thing is, it's no longer Lugar and it's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Sajaad?
I'm gonna yell at
Still in the med pad. Let me out!
I'm gonna yell at Webb's because Webb's going through the experiments and stuff, right?
It looks like he's trying to find something.
Yeah, Webb, what the fuck are you doing? Help them!
He's get the. And he's like trying to tell you what to look for, but he doesn't know how to describe it in such short notice.
I'm looking for a way to pop the med lab.
Yeah, you can
inside.
You can get it open at this point. We'll say you can get out.
Okay. If I can do that, then I'm gonna shoot the captain.
Okay. So you're like laying, you get it popped open. You just take a shot as you're laying on your back. Go ahead.
Oh wait.
Don't panic. That's a lot of dice.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you pulled out a pill. He just pulls out a shotgun from the.
Wow. Very good.
Okay, roll your armor.
It's all damage.
Damn.
Nice.
Alright, yeah. That's gonna be this many.
Blocks 2. So you're still gonna take 2 damage.
And then
Alright.
a hard stamina test.
Well, two is down to 0.
Oh.
Out of my 2.
Roll a critical injury, please.
Nice.
That's this one.
Or should we have Scaarr roll the critical injury for you? Be sure you roll it from your character sheet, by the way. Under general
yeah,
at the very bottom.
Good one. I definitely did it the wrong way last time.
Yeah.
Roll crit.
Winded.
I'm so winded.
Okay. So you shoot. Well, make your stamina test now. It's -2 because it's hard.
Okay. And I can, right click that? Nice.
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 Okay, ignore the panic. You have 2 successes. So.
Well, just one, because the other one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So
real.
Sajaad, your training kicks in. You kick the med pod open. You like roll from one side and just pull the shotgun out of nowhere. Shotgun. You take a shot. You hit Lugar right in the back. You see her body get electrocuted. She's like convulsing. Hedenstrom, you see this. She's face to face with you, right? It's just these black, soulless eyes looking at you. And she collapses to one knee. And then she just stands up like it didn't even affect her, really.
Using my fast action, close that hatchback.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's great. Crash. What are you doing?
Oh, Crash is gonna take out his ES4 semi-automatic electrostatic pistol
I just heard a whole lot of words.
Yeah. Weapon go boom at her.
Okay.
So, come on, crash.
One success. Okay. Roll your armor. You pass. Also, I realize you're a monster now. You should actually have speed, too. You should be on here twice.
Wow.
So we need to clone the actor. And roll me a d10, please.
It's gonna be... This is 10, right?
Oh, 1. Okay, so we'll just leave it 2 and 2. You'd have 2 back-to-back actions. So actually, before Sajaad shoots you, you would get another attack against somebody. So please make your attack.
Right there, so that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know, I guess. I'm gonna try to hit Hedenstrom. You're engaged.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, at this point, he's also the only person that has attacked you, because the other 2 act after you.
Right.
Mono.
Right. Yeah.
I guess do I just close combat then?
Yes.
I guess I have strength. Got a big one.
Hedenstrom, you can give up your next fast action to block if you'd like. Or just roll armor.
Then what? Yeah, I guess I'll just. He's probably not skilled enough to parry, but he'll try. Would I just roll my weapon attack again?
No, you just do close combat.
Okie dokie. Oh!
Wow, 2 successes on 3 dice. You
All right,
keep the alien Lugar at bay.
Oh, I can use a stunt, right?
You sure can.
Okay, we're both at initiative 1, so I don't want to trade that.
Yeah.
I will knock my opponent to the ground.
Okay. So knock to the ground, and then Sajaad.
Blasted by a shotgun.
Yeah, she would be last of the ones. So it would still be Webb, Hedenstrom, and then her and Lugar. Anyway, okay. All that stuff happens, and we are at the start of round 2. So it would first be Webb, who grabs what looks like one of the vials of what you guys have been testing. But you know it's not the full cure, or the virus. And he looks at you for a brief moment, Hedenstrom, like, do I try this?
So did we go over like what's in the core? It's not like the cure, because we still needed the actual.
You have a partially made virus. You can tell this is a desperate thing he's attempting. He doesn't have a weapon. This is the only thing he's probably thinking of at this point that he thinks might have a chance.
I'm gonna tell him no. I'm gonna give him a single like, nah, we got this. We're winning.
Okay. Then you see he's got the syringe, but he waits and hesitates, and it is then Hedenstrom's turn.
All right, so I'm just gonna try to bash the creature's head in with my mighty stun baton. Is there like a bonus for them being prone?
Let me see.
I don't think we've ever been able to knock an alien down in close combat, so I don't know.
No, not by the rules. It's more that just they have to waste an action getting up.
Okay, so I'll just continue to bash. One more hit.
Roll that armor.
I'm gonna push.
Oh, you stress, and everybody's stress goes up as you get the nervous twitch.
But I have a total of 2 successes.
You do. It did work somewhat.
Extra damage, yeah.
All right, Lugar. Just roll that armor and kill your... Oh my god, 2 armor. Loves it. Make your stamina test, please.
Stamina...
You pass.
One real one.
So they hit you. It seems like the static shocks are having less and less effect, and Lugar's getting more crazed. You now have 2 back-to-back full actions. At this point, you've been attacked by everybody except Webb. Do with that as you will.
Alright.
Basically, kill Webb.
Yeah.
Well,
Rip
we're-
limb for limb.
standing here, I think I'm gonna hit Hedenstrom first.
Yeah.
And that would be one of the skills. We got one.
All right,
Wait,
another fist
yes, one.
coming at you, Hedenstrom.
Another attempt at a dire parry.
Pick your kidneys.
Wow, 3 successes. You are on fire.
You flipping
All right.
schooling me
Hold
again.
on.
These scientists are just slapping the captain around all day.
We'll knock him to the ground and inflict 1 point of damage.
Okay, roll your armor. He does a counter parry. So you lunge at him. Hedenstrom, you basically block, and with her momentum, you grab her by like the back of the head and try to smash her into the wall. She falls past you.
Using my understanding of microbiology, I'm using the
And Kung Fu.
and the Tai Chi.
2 armor. She is just unstoppable.
Oh man!
All right.
We could all stop wearing our armor in case we turn evil.
All right.
I guess I gotta get up again and then hit Hedenstrom one more time.
You could try something else. You don't just have to do like close combat. I mean, you could try, but you already rolled, so
I mean,
So is getting up a slow action or a fast action?
fast action.
oh wait, Okay.
Cool.
that's what I thought.
So I just got to roll armor.
I got to do that time.
That's all. Just armor.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not that bad, right?
You have this same armor I have, or even better armor.
Okay. Back and forth, back and
Clash
forth.
of the Titans.
Okay, Sajaad, you can see Lugar is like refusing to go down, but Hedenstrom is somehow holding his own.
Crash, get in
He's
here.
he's channeling that Navarre secret agent power.
Sajaad's getting turned on, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna flip this hatchback open and shoot
Man,
him.
look at this sexy Swede living. This is awesome.
Nice. The king.
Oh. Okay, you get 3 successes. You panic, you hold it together, but you do burn through your ammo as you just unload shot after shot into Lugar's back. You got 4 damage coming at you, Lugar. These electric
Unless you want to use a
bolts.
stunt on something else. Here it comes. Just one that time.
All right. Scaarr, why don't you roll the critical this time? It doesn't matter if it goes on his character sheet, because Lugar is no more.
If it goes on my character sheet?
No, just roll a critical from the critical table.
Oh, whoopsie. That's on my sheet.
Oh, we can delete that. Crushed foot. You can't run, only crawl. So you blast this time. Your aim's a little off because you're still laying on your back. You hit Lugar in the back of the foot, like the ankle. The fucking foot goes like exploding, basically. Lugar, you like fall to the ground. You're like flopping around on one leg. At this point, Crash, she's prone. She's sort of out of the fight. Still flailing around, though. Make your stamina test too at -2. Because that's the nasty one.
Go for one of those.
Oh, you're fine. Okay.
Wow.
Crash,
Stamina rolls.
Yep.
she's down. Mostly easy pickings. If you can just get 1 success on an attack, we will assume you can end Lugar as she thrashes about.
Okay. Do I get any advantages with the pistol if she's down?
No, there's no,
Oh, okay. Well, he's gonna take a shot.
at least not on the GM screen, so.
Jeez.
Oh.
All right. How does Crash dispatch the captain?
I think Crash would do the very cold, like, look down, say I'm sorry, and would do 2 in the chest and 1 in the head.
Oof.
Triple tap.
Boom. 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 Captain Lugar, your journey aboard Erebos Station has finally come to an end. That is where we will call it for tonight's folks, and that will be the end of Act 2. Everybody gains a point of stress, other than Eric. When you see your captain, your friend, who's been trying to keep it together, mutate into a horrible abomination before your eyes. And perhaps it's fitting that a person who's not a member of your crew is the one that ultimately puts her down. Maybe even Hedenstrom, maybe you stop for a second as she's flailing around. You can still see it's her, but it's not. And maybe you hesitate, and Crash steps in front of you and puts his hand on your chest to move you out of the way. And just like Daryl in Season 2, sorry, brother. Boom. That's all we got for you tonight, folks. Matt, thank you so much for being part of this. As always, great to have you back on the show. And we will see you in a few weeks when we get back to things. We're probably going to take a little bit of a break from Alien, folks, and we're going to dive back into Blade Runner between this and some more Alien. Our schedules are getting a little messed up. So I know we promised going into the Marine campaign, but Matt's going to be out of town for about a month, and we don't want to necessarily dive back into Alien and have him miss a bunch of sessions. So we're going to finish up Heart of Darkness, probably be done maybe in about 2 to 4 sessions. We'll see how fast things go. They're dropping like flies, and Act 3 typically tends to be pretty quick. But we're going to finish up Heart of Darkness, and then we're going to dive into Fiery Angels, the second module in the Blade Runner. We're going to have the original cast back. So Sean, Froggatt, Kyle, and Tyler will all be reprising their roles. And we're going to pick up where we left off last time. And then when that is done, that'll probably be a couple sessions. We will dive back in with the Marine campaign for Alien. So we'll see how the schedule pans out the next couple weeks, but that's the general plan. So, Matt, thanks so much, man. Have a wonderful, safe trip, and we will see you in a few weeks. And listeners, we will see you same time, same place, nighty-night.